People asking about Team Sealed. This weekend is GP Louisville, which is team limited. Thank you. Learning to fish was one of the most divisive articles I've ever written. A lot of people took it personally and got very angry, and the other people were like, "Yeah, that's what it takes to be, to achieve excellence." I appreciate that. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything about it because I can't. Like I'm not in a position to like sue them. It's not a huge deal, but it is something that happened. Find any insight on this team sealed format and who are your teammates? Well, I can't besides saying. Well, first of all, my teammates are. It's Team Newmont Gaming. It's me, Kenji Egashira, and Roderick Yeager, who are the three founders of the site. So that'll be cool. As for team limited tips, I don't know anything about this format specifically in terms of the differences between normal sealed and team sealed, but generally speaking, team sealed is just a lot more like draft, where there are the power level of the decks is a lot higher, and the floor is a lot higher. There's not as much in terms of filling out with filler and placeholders and stuff. Um, so things like counter spells are generally better. Um, Creatures that are better against removal, resilient to removal, things that have my 2/2 that can turn into another 2/2, something like that is going to go up in value. The format tends to be a little slower, but also the aggro deck is super, super fast because they get all the aggro cards. So it's a little polarizing in that way. Ooh la la. Ugh. No, I appreciate it. I mean, it was a couple years ago now. I think I might have even still been writing for them at the time, but not under contract when they did that. But it is what it is. So red is our worst matchup, but our curve is great, so that's good. So that's something. Come on, Sim the Bunny. Let's fucking battle. Bombardment. Bombardment. Ooh, Ravenous Bloodseeker. That's interesting. Opponent is likely going to be a pretty aggressive Madness deck. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright, alright. Do I like the energy mechanic you've seen so far? It's a good question. I uh I think that it is a cool idea, and I think that the execution is going to have to be very aware of the fact that the principal mechanic is inherently parasitic. And what I mean by that is that it only cares about itself as a mechanic. It doesn't really play well with others. Um, the ultimate example for parasitic mechanics is always splice onto arcane. It's splice onto arcane is just it only cares about arcane and then spells being arcane, which only happen in Kamigawa, and then the splice cards themselves have to like you have to draw it and an arcane spell, so you have to draw two cards from the same set that do a similar that have this similar quality. It's really really parasitic, right? You're not going to see Glacial Ray in Modern because the card pool is just so big, and a parasitic mechanic limits you to a very very small subset. Um, so energy, right? Energy is inherently like well, cards give you energy and you spend energy. That's only happened, or that hasn't happened yet, and it's only happening now. It's only happening in these next two sets, maybe even just the next one set. So you have to sort of sidestep the fact that those cards can only really interact with themselves and each other. Now, the way that you do that is you make sure that all your energy cards play both sides of the ball. If your energy cards all produce and spend energy in the right, ratios and amounts, then you don't really have a problem with parasiticism, which is a word I just made up, because uh, each card functions as itself, and then they also coexist. They also co-interact, right? So I think I saw a spoiler that was um, like I don't remember the numbers on the spoiler because I don't read spoilers. It just showed up in my Facebook feed, but it was something like 2 mana, uh, target a creature, add 2 energy to your, you gain 2 energy, deal damage or pay energy. I don't know the wording. Pay energy to deal that much damage to the target creature. Right. So that's just a 2 mana shock. That is a card that already exists and will exist in the future. That's just yes, that's a thing, right? Uh, the this has to flip to trade with this, right? Which means I get it anyway. So I should just send? Like trading this for these two and a card is pretty profitable. I can also send the skeleton for an extra point. What was I talking about? Parasiticism, the parasitic nature of energy. So, if you have your cards function as normal cards, right? Imagine that the big reveal for the mechanic was a weird block. Thought for sure they'd have to trade for the host. Um, I don't remember exactly what the card is, but it's like an artifact that whenever something dies, I think I just take this. Because they're not going to be able to block everything now. So, like, when something dies... Oh, shite. No, I still win. They have to use the ability, so I make them use the ability. Surprise! Menace you! Good old-fashioned fucking Eldrazi monstrosities facing off at the end of the game. So my opponent is going to be the aggressor, which means I am the defendor. It's probably the first time in the history the Bloodsworn's ever been beaten. I really don't have anything. Like, this thing's kind of good against the Edict. The Triple Edict. Maybe 2-1 is not where I want to be against red-black. I'm willing to believe that. I'll live in the world where that's a true statement. So anyway, so imagine that first spoiler, right? The thing that just gives you energy when a thing dies. Imagine that was printed in Mirrodin. And it is the same exact card, but instead of giving you energy, the artifact gets charge counters. Nobody would bat an eye, right? That's totally just a card they would print. And with good reason. Like, that's a totally fine card to exist. If you do that with your energy cards, you can make it so that it is not parasitic pretty much at all. The problem is that then it's not even a mechanic, right? If all of your energy cards just use the energy that they give you, like the damage for energy thing and the thing that pumps up and whatever, then like the artifacts just are charge counters, and your spells just do what they say. Like, the energy isn't even a thing. A huge percentage of the time, just like 90% of the time, your cards will just do what they say, and that's not a mechanic. It's not even that that's a bad mechanic. That's not even a mechanic. That's like the mechanic being like real, and the rules text is that this actually is and does what it does, right? Like, it's not a mechanic. So there is a sort of fine line to walk between those types of uh, yeah, I'll keep this. It's a little slow on the draw. Um, there's a pretty thin line that you have to be able to walk, that you have to be able to say, all of our cards work, right? It's not parasitic. You don't need three copies of this one mechanic from this one set for your cards to work. But also, if you do have multiple cards, you can use them together to a better whole, right? Like, you can have it become greater than the sum of its parts. And that's the important thing from a design perspective, or I guess it's design and developmental perspective, to make sure that you are aware of that line and that you tread it very carefully. Because one card sort of outside of that boundary is, well, I guess if it's towards the boundary of this card just does what it does, it's not a huge deal. It's just like a pretty meh design. But if your card works the other way, where this card literally does not work unless you have multiple other energy cards, that's a huge failing. Like, that's a huge dropping of the ball from the design team. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that ends up looking like. I think I want to snipe this thing ASAP. I would be fairly shocked if energy became evergreen in the next 3 years. It might someday, right? It's totally possible that one day energy is just part of Magic. But I would be shocked if it's anytime soon after its initial release. Because by tucking it away, they can revisit it. If it just instantly becomes evergreen, then they lose a lot of like extra design space. Or no, they gain design space at the cost of sort of novelty, I guess is the word, uniqueness. Yeah, I'll block. I mean, I'm up like 2 cards. This thing's gonna be huge. I mean, it's not true always, right? Like, it's not inherently true. Like, things that are just slightly modified kicker are always going to be fine. Things that are slightly modified cycling or whatever are always going to be fine. Well, flooding out a little bit, but we are ahead. Yeah, Urkanoi, exactly. Also, like, without core sets, you don't have a lot of that sort of easing of entry level stuff into evergreen mechanics. So adding more and more evergreen mechanics and adding more and more complex ones is not something they should be doing anytime soon. All your mana up, leave your 2/2 back. Guess who's not attacking this turn? Liliana's Elite. Flooding out pretty hard. Yeah, Kicker's great, which is why they keep redoing it. That is not an impressive play. Hey, we did it. Well, I can trade off this 3/3 now to make this a 3/3. Asatur, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I would bet you dollars to donuts, my friend, that you are completely misguided. That is just a factually untrue statement. I don't really want to trade this thing off just to make this a little bigger. So what I'm going to do is not play it. So that if this dies, this will be bigger. But if it doesn't, then I can still have it without it being gone. I also, 1, 2, 3, yeah, I have to play the land. It's not as simple as that, right? You can't just say, hey, look how smart I am. You can't just say, Wizards is dumb. Or, you can't say that about anyone, right? Like, that's not a... Thinking about attacking with that 2/2 into the 2/3 flash. Hey, zombie. Wizards is dumb and does things wrong is not smart or useful. Like, Jace the Mind Sculptor being too good and cutting platinum pay and deciding to do, BFZ the way they did. By the way, I hate BFZ. A lot about BFZ and the way they did it. But, like, all those decisions that you want to critique are made, first of all, by completely different people. Nobody was, like, in on all of those decisions. So to say Wizards as a whole gets things wrong is just nonsense, right? It's a giant company with a bunch of different moving parts. 2/3, 3/3, 2/2. You think Marrow was in on the decision to cut platinum pay? I guarantee you he was not. I guarantee you 1,000% he was not even informed of that decision. Probably should have traded this off. Bloodsworn kind of gets me good. Not really. Exactly. Kenny Wings. Anybody that knows anything about Marrow and his relationship with pro players in the Pro Tour is... I mean, it's so obvious he had nothing to do with that decision. I don't agree with you. What I'm saying is that you saying that Wizards making a mistake means they're more likely to make more mistakes is a fallacy because there are a billion different people making all these separate decisions and a billion different ways to make mistakes, right? The Jace the Mind Sculptor being too good and the cutting platinum pay are two completely different types of mistakes. So to say that because they did Jace, they didn't learn their lesson and did a plat thing like that, there's a huge disconnect there. That's just not how reality works. What is this attack? I'm gonna block like this. No, what you said was because Wizards... You said Wizards hasn't learned from their mistakes. So they aren't going to know to not make energy evergreen. And that's just a nonsensical fallacy that I'm calling out. Not actually too upset about how that worked out. Yeah, Marrow is gonna be, he's gonna be the guy to make that decision. And from what I know about his approach to things and understanding of game design and making magic, that's why I'm so confidently saying that the person or people saying that energy will be evergreen are just completely off base. Spell. Thank you. I have a couple things that make Dawn-Gryph lethal next turn. The pump spell and the certain death. Yeah, the last time a mechanic that was too complex was added to Evergreen was Protection. Which was, what, Alpha? When did Protection... Was Protection around in Alpha? Check catching up with me a little bit. Ooh, Ruthlessly Disposed. Even though I could make them discard their last card, if it's a madness thing, they'll just get to play it. either way. And I'd rather keep the 2/4 because now the Dragoon has to chump it. Alright. You got it. Right, and we're saying that it is demonstrably not something WotC would do. It is the exact opposite of something that WotC would do. And we have like logic and reason and understanding behind our argument, and the reasoning behind your argument that they would is, they mess up sometimes, so who's to say they won't mess up this time? And that's just a terrible argument. Like, I'm not trying to attack you or like say that you're dumb or anything, because I don't believe that either. I'm just trying to point out why that's both incorrect in my mind, but also like not useful. Yeah, exactly. I'm totally not trying to pile on. I'm just making the argument. I'm trying to help you, not attack you. The last change to Evergreen that increased complexity? I mean, there hasn't been one since Alpha, really. No, first of all, I'm not conflating things. I'm going exactly on what you said, and I don't think we're being rude about it. We are being thorough. But I don't think being corrected should not automatically trigger their being mean in my mind. DFCs are not evergreen. Fear to intimidate was probably simpler. No, I guess it's the same. They're the same level of complexity. Yeah, prowess is simple. Yeah. Be Trush. It's not an argument competition. It is a discussion. Again, just because people disagree doesn't mean that it's like a bad thing. Blue green. Why crack it now? What do you have to gain? F6 value? Bant. Okay. Um. Which is more likely to get value? Probably the Tooth Collector. Also, if the Shieldmate's going to be good, I've borrowed Grace as a sort of redundant copy. Yeah, Dugan MacGyver. I agree. I mean, I think it is probably a slight step up, but it's like, it's pretty marginal. I wouldn't consider that even close to protection or energy, which are the two examples we're working with. That's scary. Again, just because we disagree and are willing to argue our stance does not mean that we need to chill. Things like chill and like you're being rude and stuff like that is bad, right? It's just it is dissuading uh intelligent discussion and conversation. Like I'm not a fan of just sort of pocketing the idea that like discourse is inherently negative. Ooh, spinner. I thought it was going to be the fact or fiction or something. Yeah, I mean, Colorless Mana is pretty dumb, but it's not evergreen. Stop passing with so much mana up. Sup, Hatch. I mean, removing mana burn was a decrease in complexity. I guess I might as well try this. Yeah, no, colorless mana is an Eldrazi only thing that is not evergreen by any stretch. Oh, it worked. Did not expect that. Stop flashing stuff. I don't, Greg, because I agree with them. Oh my god, it's the Scarecrow. What was the black creature that did this? Prey Pawn, sure. That's not a good draw. If you legitimately think that that's how it went down, then you need to self-reflect. I really don't have any good things to do here. Am I behind enough that I have to hope they make like the worst blocks? It's possible. I think I can wait. I have Ruthless Disposal and Certain Death and the Angel. Few good draws. Not too afraid of that. You were not being ridiculous. You were not being ridiculous. You were just being incorrect. And more importantly, using irrational logic. And me pointing that out to you does not mean that I'm attacking you, nor does it mean that I think that you're being ridiculous or stupid or bad, right? Like, you're putting too much weight on things. Like, it's all good. We're all good. You're trying to create it in your minds that I'm calling you crazy and then being offended at that. None of that happened. We're all good. Nothing negative happened here. Ooh, does that do something? Feel like it might. Your history's greatest monster. Well, not gonna go that far. I think I'm gonna play it post-combat, because I have no good attacks this turn. An idea being crazy does not mean the person that thought it up was crazy. Again, you're doing a lot of projecting. You're trying, your brain is trying to turn this into something negative. It's trying to find it. He must have been mean to me here, or I must have fucked up here. You didn't fuck up and I'm not being mean. Nothing's wrong. Don't let your brain convince you that something is wrong when it's not. Oh, pretty unimpressive Colossus. I should have played this land last turn, by the way. But it doesn't matter because I didn't draw land this turn. My opponent has passed with so much mana up every turn of this game. Really hope they're just flooded to all hell. Ah, my foot's asleep. Ow! Ooh! Ooh! Ow, ow, ow. Every time I stream, I swear. Ow! Alright. Meld. Strike. Can this attack too? Probably doesn't want to. Skelly Man likes to play D. I know, I know. I have my standing desk set up. I just need to move everything over. I moved it over and then moved it back. Cause cause I hurt my knee. So I needed to sit again. They started tapping mana and then stopped. Jesus. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and kill those two. Right? I think this is right. Pass. What do you got? 6 mana is a whole lot. Behemoth. Pretty happy about that, actually. Because now this goes through. Ouch. And hope my skeleton can throw down. It's all good. Yeah, I just tweaked it. I didn't like actually hurt my knee. I was just being a baby. Ooh. All right. There's a zombie. Yeah. Play it thusly. And hope to draw either... Well, first of all, we have to not die. Any pump spell, pretty much. And we have to hope to draw the other Dawn Gryph, or the Angel, or a removal spell, of which we have 2. That was not one of them. Five. So now I just have to chump an alpha next turn. Plays first for Convolute. Another zombie. Pass it up. Transform. Attack, chump. Six. 5. 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, I have lethal if they don't have anything. Ooh, and we drew that. Ooh, that's weird. Now do I try and trade off for the 3/3? Or do I go for lethal? Because the most they can stop is 6. As it stands. Which means the 5/6 gets through along with a 3/2. 2/2, 2/2, 2/2, 1/1. That's 13. You drew his only out. Yeah, I think I just reversed one outered myself. Well, as it stands, I have 13, so I can theoretically leave back a skeleton and a 2/2. So if they absolutely wreck me in combat, I can... No, because I can't block the Howling Chorus. Yep. Hope you got nothing. No. Jeez. Yeah, that's a good one. That's it! We did it! Like, why show me that? When they showed me that, I was like, oh, they have 2 things. Why show me that if it's still lethal? That was the weirdest slow roll I've ever received. Good thing I didn't try and go for Exaxes. They wanted me to know. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Ooh, not enough. You gotta get that sound bit. Use it in an episode of Avant Card. Ooh, not enough. Ooh. Ooh, not enough. I wish that is how it worked. Oh, excuse me. This thing's a sorcery, right? Yeah. Giving my opponent too much credit. Sure. Sure. I guess I don't have to sideboard if my deck is already perfect. Survive the Night seems like it might be good. I don't really have anything I want to cut. I like the low drops. Yeah, I'll just play that as is. Great Power Van, how's it going? Long time no see. D-Suidam87. It sounds like you answered your own question. Doesn't love you enough. Doesn't love us enough to stream anymore. That is the answer. It is both the question and the answer. The yin and the yang. I forgot I had this in my deck. Pretty good against blue-green nonsense. Ooh! That is almost what I wanted. If that was a plains, I think I would curve 1-2 instead of 2-3. But I won't. Only because the 3 is like pretty bad against, like it's gonna be brick walled or traded away. Puncturing Light is gas against this opponent. Oh, I had the plains. Rats. Not the rats, but rats. Yeah, campaign might be good. The problem is they have too many like flyers and reach things. If I thought I had more domination over the skies, then I would have brought in campaign. Jeez, opponent, go easy on me. Planeswalkers. I should link that video. It didn't get that much love because it went up so late. But it's kind of a glimpse. I mean, you know, it's not perfect, but it's kind of a glimpse into what that show is going to be going forward. Declare attacker's step. Yeah. No, I guess I block here. Nah. It's less the pump ability and more I don't want to give a clue away. Ba-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Wham! The Mole Sisters, The Missing Stream. I've never even heard of these artists. No play on 4. What was it? It was the spider, right? It's the spider. Kind of hard. Puncturing Light on a spider is like using a magnifying glass to roast it. Sandy Scales, Guibo. Happy 3K. No blocks. My opponent missed a land drop? 3/1 flyer. Well, that's convenient. Do zombies still have their teeth? Big Daddy Mangles. Didn't really want to block with the Tooth Collector anyway, so I'm fine with that. The other kind of rats. But I think I scavenge. Two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 is okay. I don't need to play a land. Oh, I should attack first, though. Yeah. I'm going to leave a land in my hand so I can draw Ruthless Disposal. But there's no way that I can spend 7 mana next turn if I draw a land, so no big deal. Vessel, getting close to Delirium. I was gonna say, it'd be a little bonkers to not send the Scab. More scavenges. Well, interesting. Running low on time. No removal for Selfless Spirit, please. Yay. I think I do this. So I can collect the teeth of that thing and attack with 2 3/3s. So they have the flash 3/3. They're thinking about whether they can block or whether they should play it and attack. Pretty sure their only way to win is to attack. I guess they know their deck better than I do. So like, look at this game state. How is this winnable for them? You know, if you take the damage and, well, I guess if I have the pump spell, you're dead. But if they take the damage, maybe they could draw a pump spell and kill me. But this way is not the way to do it. Did everybody stop talking at the exact same moment, or did my chat die? I like to think everybody went to go watch that video, so they stopped talking. Also, I don't even have iTunes open, so, yeah, everybody quiet. AJ doesn't know we're here. Sorry if that was a little loud. We did it! Winner, 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 winner. I felt good. Bit of a weird deck, but like, I had a vision of what I wanted it to sort of play out like, and drafted thusly, and it worked out. Lots of creatures, not a lot of spells, but a lot of value. Low curve, a lot of value. Get there. Look, everybody! AJ made a mistake on the internet! I'm embarrassed to say how many, like, tries it took me to get that take, which I'm not happy with at all. But it's my first time doing something like that, so give me a fucking break! What made you want to do a video on planeswalking? That's a damn fine question. That is a damn fine question. I just have, like, pages of notes of shit I want to talk about, because I love Magic so much. And that was the first one that I decided to do, because it was one of the more recent ones that I came up with. And I liked the idea of me trying to sneak through a park in the middle of the day. That made me my heart smile. So I decided to make that one first. No, not enemy attack. There's no enemies attacking. Oh my god. Is it legal to have music this good? A solid question, and one for which I do not have an answer. That is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu. 2-hour, 15-minute stream. Not too bad. But, I have work to do and sleep to get. So thank you all. Thank you to the subs and resubs for the day. Oh my god, am I really going to do this? It was Fun Hater, D-Batterskull, Austin, and there was one more. Don't tell me. I just had it. Ba-bam? Yeah, ba-bam. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. All I had to do was look at the chat. Alright, good night everybody. I will be posting this to YouTube's for those that missed it. That'll probably go up tomorrow. And then I have an article going up before the weekend. And then I'll be in Louisville. Good night. Oh. Stream will be on Thursday instead of Friday, because I'll be flying on Friday. So stream on Thursday.